I got a comment once that was like, what's with all the Ace combat? And I'm like, have you listened to it, man? Because like, this is like really good. You are basically Pilot Jesus, and it is hard to not enjoy, and hopefully you will too.
God. Oh, damn. Okay.
Something like this is a great example of the freedom and the acceptance that people have of composition, and that you can write things that have so many different elements in there that aren't so stringent. I graduated high school in '92, and so I was in college in the the late '90s. So I had all these ideas, and instead of people helping me get those ideas out, they told me what I was hearing was wrong, and that, well, you can't do that. You can't put that instrument with that instrument over there. It's not what you do. So to hear something like this that has all of these elements in it, has these strings, that has this really cool melodic line that doesn't have to be complex. We're not going through like any Tristan chords or like trying to do these like false cadences or these these massive modulations, and it still has that same weight that you would get.
I've never heard that ever. Amazing. Like I said, it gave me Hans Zimmer vibes in the beginning. It really did. Kind of like the Inception, more so than any other movie.
Yeah.
On the big build up at like 3 minutes, literally just sounds like it's just coming out the clouds. I can just imagine like a deadpan shot of the clouds, and then the plane coming out and then just going crazy. Like that's what I imagined. It sounded incredible.
This was particularly well paced. What is particularly interesting is that despite that repetition underneath, which is mostly an ostinato, that helps the energy. The only reason why that helps drive the energy is because of the way things change on top of it. You have the first section that has that, and then these sustained chords, but then like a minute and 10 seconds into it, those sustained chords are now transformed into these staccato hits. It's exciting because that is actually sort of, I don't know, it depends on how you look at it. It's a development of those sustained things, but instead of the sustained, you have the action. Because you sustain something and it's nice and smooth and it's steady, but if you have something that's staccato, bam, it just punches you.
Mixed meter, dude. One.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you think of that?
Love it. When we do all these sessions with choirs in it, often the choir is so far back in the final mix, you don't get it. It's something there.
Yeah.
But it's nice when the choir's really up front. The fact that it was actually being sung rhythmically and consistently started to create tension. So you're actually starting to feel that this tension is building up. And then, of course, when you have that break and then it suddenly cuts back in and you've got all the stuff going on in the background, it's great.
I love it, man. It's so good. I mean, it's just opera. I mean, you've got really clear characters built. They're in the orchestra. They're in the different voice parts. And then by the time you get to the end, that's like Mozart. That's what Mozart did. He set this. He gave you this theme. He gave you that theme. He gave you this theme. And then at the end, he just threw them together. Oh God! At the end, when it's terrifying.
I can think of a few pieces like this. Carmina Burana and
of course.
Something very different from that is Phantom Menace, which I loathe to bring up, except that it does have a very good score by John Williams. He makes use of very similar forces. He's got, of course, the London Phil, and there are some similar kind of builds and textural, evocations. And I don't even know if his was particularly, the first time anybody thought of that, but it was very effective. This is good stuff. It's very well constructed.
I would attend the crap out of a live performance of that work. It would be great to have a choir who could do it, including like all the super low stuff. You'd have to hire those guys who are like ringers for the Rachmaninoff Vespers. I mean, the whole like fighter pilot thing, that mixture of thrill and terror is kind of in this music too. It's a real adrenaline rush, but not quite stable and just sort of like awesome.
The 7/8 time signature is designed to make you feel off balance, because it's like not possible to divide 7 clicks into equal parts. It's a prime number, right? Yeah. It's 2, 2, and 3. Ducka, 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 ducka. So like the third beat of every measure is 1/8 note longer than the previous 2. And so each time that ducka happens, you're like, Oh, where am I? Yeah, and then you fight it again.
Oh, that's interesting you say that, because you're literally fighting against one of the best fighter pilots to ever live in this.
Okay.
Of course it's unsettling.
Yeah.
That's cool.
In the beginning, I was getting ready to be like, yeah, but you knew what you were doing. You reeled me in with that Spanish guitar and the castanets.
I like it starts low and sort of builds. Again, that's one of those extra musical things that works really well for something like this, where it's based on flying. You actually feel like there is an ascent to it. Also, in a game that's based on flying, you would also want to suggest kind of multiple vistas as being, the huge panorama of the open skies, but also bring it back to the person you're playing. The use of solo voice, I thought, did that nicely. It had a dance feeling, as if this fight is kind of like a dance.
It is like a dance.
It's choreographed.
That's pretty cool. Have you ever actually been to a flamenco performance?
I actually haven't.
It is really worth it as a bucket list item. I went to 2 of them when I was in Spain. I've never seen some people clap so well as the people there's this insane mental map that everybody on the stage, and it's 3 clappers, 2 dancers, and usually 2 guitar players. The dancers really make it. They really make it. It's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of unfettering of composers when it comes to video games, especially once they become established and they don't have to conform to anything. If you do this sort of thing in a movie, it doesn't necessarily work. It throws the audience out of the experience if you were to throw a random flamenco thing in the middle, or it turns it into comedy.
If I had to stay on hold on the phone for a long time, I wouldn't mind listening to that. It's good. For me, with the one thing that gets old after a while and it starts becoming progressive, less interesting, is the sound of the synthetic strings. The guitar sound was pretty convincing. I don't know, it may have been an actual guitar, actually, I don't know. But everything else was clearly generated by computer. Nothing wrong with that. It probably couldn't produce as much music as we produce these days. Everything had to be, recorded by a symphony orchestra. I think that some of these scores actually make it onto the concert stage and are played by.
Yeah, they do.
But part of the experience of listening to music is somehow connecting with the people who play it.
Playing it, yeah.
That was my jam. That was so cool. The guitar part, I'm gonna go learn that guitar part now. I'm sure other people have too. Those offbeats with the acoustic, I really, really love that. And that solo, that whole thing's a vibe. It's really treating the foundations of the genres that they're using. I love it. It's so cool.
That guy's right foot must have been tired. The bass drum. For 3 minutes. It's the heartbeat, right? It just...
Yeah. The adrenaline of that feeling of flying and...
Oh, man, it's just this go. Momentum. We're moving forward. There's no choice but forward. I love that feeling. When the bass drum dropped out, it turned into this felt like you were free falling.
Yeah, it was
it almost felt like you were just gliding. It was cool. I love that.
This is the motif.
Is that going on in the background while you're actually doing the fighting?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
It seems too intense.
Is that Latin?
It's Latin.
It's so operatic in its pacing of dramatic and material, is that you always feel like you're going somewhere or coming away. there's in this example, there's very little sort of ambient music. Like, it's not just setting an atmosphere. It's always guiding the listener or the viewer or the player, whatever you want to say, through this like sort of epic journey.
That was a remarkable journey in the composition. I would run to a symphony to hear this stuff live.